we went into Iowa and still had a few players that weren't playing yet for us, but we were, we're getting a little bit there. We started really well. We played game one, match well. We just did. And, we were firing on all cylinders, and, day two, we just let up a little bit, and Iowa played pretty hard. That was their senior night. And they played with a little bit of a little bit extra oomph from the day one to day two. And, just kind of really did a nice job of putting together some really long rallies and things like that, that helped them kind of get past us in that game. I think, we didn't maybe sustain our high level for long enough periods of time during that one. So we just need to, regroup and get ready for our final weekend, which is senior night, and where we'll be, recognizing so many seniors that have been with this team for the last 4 years. So.
Okay. Questions, guys?
Hey, Cathy. So kind of just tell me about how much your seniors have meant for you guys this year, and, just everything they've done for you.
Well, it has. It's been, it's so hard to express how weird this year has been and how difficult in so many different ways. And, you'd like to have everything spelled out for you the entire time, but it's not possible, because on days notice, we'd find things out that changed what we were doing from day to day. And that's COVID. We just had no control. And that was the thing we talked to them a lot about in the fall, is we don't know what tomorrow brings. So let's just make the max of what we have today. And so, going into the, we didn't even know, would we have a season? Would we not have a season? Like, we started with the season, then didn't have a season. Then we're practicing, thinking when football came back, maybe we'll come back now. And then, okay, but will they have us play it in January or not? And there was just so many questions throughout the year. And then just also, there's a lot of protocols that are, that you're working through as well, that are just different. And so you're challenged. So we test every morning. We have morning practice, just kind of how does that look in a given week from day to day, and how can we do things? So the seniors then, have an understanding of what, is going on a little bit. And they had to guide a lot of younger people that just have never, this is the freshman first year, and they don't know what it looks like normally. So it's hard to do that. And I think the schedule is all over the place sometimes, even in terms of practice times, as to who has the gym, who doesn't, just different things that kept going on. And because we're trying to smush in, how many is it, Jamie? 24 sports in the spring? Yeah. So, you're working around other teams as well. And it was a challenging year for so many different reasons. And so, I thought the seniors did a really nice job of trying to keep it together through all that, and help people understand that this is just what we have to do. We can't control. What can we control? What can't we control? And just do the very best we can.
Cathy, can you talk a little bit about Rutgers and what we're going to see from them?
Well, I tell you what, Rutgers has already won more games than they've had in a couple of years. I think they might be at 5 or something, or 4, or somewhere in there. And with a not a big schedule, not a, but with a lot of teams matches played, but they have really improved, and they have a transfer from Auburn, and then they had a player from Serbia that's really making an impact in the middle and really making a nice thing. Their right side is playing phenomenally well. And also I think from Serbia, and they come in and they're playing hot, they're playing ready, and they're just learning and growing. They've always had a lot of international players, and so you never know what you're going to get. And I think they're playing together, and that's the important thing for them. And so it's a Rutgers that is challenging, and they're very talented at all of the pins and in the middle as well. So yeah, we've got our work cut out for her. This is definitely a different Rutgers team than years previous. So it's important that we're ready to go. So.
Obviously, some of your lineup decisions are based about who's available, but some of your seniors really had a nice weekend at Iowa. You saw some big numbers from Lauren Swartz and from Meredith Norris. And can you just, just
And Kronowski had a great game on Friday night.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. Yeah. You know, and then Lauren Swartz, I mean, her blocking was phenomenal. I just, that was really good, and they couldn't stop her. And, you know, they made adjustments the second night, and that was a little bit challenging, but I thought, my gosh, you know, you did see a lot of people step up, and, you know, Meredith has had to pass in a 2-person pattern along with Jamie. So both of those guys, you know, have held down the passing since we've, you know, lost Sarah Franklin. And then we had Talia out. And so we were really working with only 2, and usually people pass with 3, but we have had to go with 2 for a while now. And so that could make you vulnerable, but I think that they really have stepped up to make that solid. And so that's been good. And you know, and so I think everybody has different roles, but I think going back to your question about COVID, with all these things happening, we have different lineups day to day, and it's kind of like where we're at. And so I thought that they've done a nice job of going with the flow, and just kind of whatever we do, and we have to, you know, just keep going. So I thought they stepped up. It was really good to see, you know, there were a couple of things that Lauren did that, you know, we've been working on before, and I just saw her, you know, wrap up some blocks and just really do a nice job and become a real presence over there. And so it was fun to see that, and which, you know, it's not like, yeah, it's like she's been able to do that before, but it was really fun to see her come out and just like take over right when she got in. So.
All right. Any other questions, guys? Oh, Ian. Yep.
So with this talk about how Rutgers is, you know, better, obviously taking them seriously, what has the team been doing in practice to prepare for these games?
Well, we're making sure that when we go through scouting reports, I mean, that's basically the thing. I think, you know, we've always taken Rutgers seriously. It's not like we have not. We have. So I want to clear that up right here. I've always thought they were very talented. I think they have, you know, they're a great service team. They have a lot of experience in their players. Probably one of the better setters in the conference. So she's been there for years. I think they've had a nice team over the years, and I think they're just pushing forward a little bit more, and so they're doing a nice job, and have been, you know, their whole team, you know, they're doing a better job together. And so with that, you know, we are preparing like we would anybody else. It's not like you're preparing different for Rutgers than you did, you know, Wisconsin or anybody else. You're doing it the same way. You know, you're going through your scouting reports and getting yourself ready. So in key areas. So that's no different. And so it's a weird phenomenon 2 days in a row. You know, how do you deal with that? What adjustments, that kind of thing. And so, you know, I think they're a good team, and, you know, we've got our work cut out for us, and it's, you know, there's going to be, you know, a lot of emotions. We have a lot of kids graduating and going from there. So, you know, it's a fun weekend for us. I mean, we really do love to put a lot into this last weekend. And so, you know, for the players, you know, what we do, you know, with different types of things like we were talking about earlier in terms of our senior night and that type of thing. But we're looking forward to it. We know we're growing. It's kind of been fun to watch our team grow even through this tough time, and to see how many people are blossoming. There are plenty of players that are, you know, their light bulbs are going on and they're blossoming. And I just love that. That's the best part of coaching, and seeing how certain things are starting to make sense. So really excited about that, and just their continued improvement.
Are you done? My bad, Ian. You have one
Go
more.
ahead, Jordan.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to ask about the growth and stuff. What are because last game you guys kind of seem to be picking up, your communication is getting better. So like, what is the difference, you know, you've seen from when you guys first came back from COVID break, that long COVID break, to now?
I do think there's a different sense of learning, just really trying to conceptualize what it is players are doing within their individual skill and as a team as a whole in terms of concepts. I think we're doing a better job of really dialing into that, and you're seeing improvements all the time. And I think it's just a maturity level of several players that are kind of coming, and then, you know, just different people speaking up all the time, just growing in themselves and their confidence. And I see that happening, and it's been fun to watch, but that's part of what you love to see when teams just, you know, grow older. And it's just been so weird because of the random nature of all of our lineups that we've had to use and just different things. And so it has that makes it tough, but we can control, but the team, they keep playing with different people and they're just kind of learning to roll with it. And so that is where we're at right now. So, but I think they've grown, so.
All right. Any other questions, guys?
Yeah, you briefly mentioned that there were some seniors feeling emotional about senior night, and I was curious if you could talk a little bit more about that.
Well, we always do some special things with the parents on senior night, and we're not going to be able to do what we normally do. It's usually a brunch with them, and they speak to their daughters into the room about them and their growth and all those things. And so it's going to be kind of hard that we're not doing that in person and that type of thing. So it's hard, and nobody ever planned their senior season to be this type of season with COVID, right? Emotional, I just mean from the sense of it's the end of this, and it's kind of like, it's hard to do that. You've lived a certain way. In fact, volleyball has been with you forever. You've been playing it since whatever, if it's the 4th grade. And if the players decide that they don't want to go play pro or do anything like that, this is it, and so that's the realization for anybody that has a senior night like that. And I think it happens to everyone. It's just a kind of, it's a bittersweet type of thing. So, I don't know. And then there's the, there's the camaraderie and the things that you've had together as a team, and knowing that you're not probably doing that again. So it's tough. So for all the same reasons that I think it would be for every senior, that takes off that jersey.